Hello and welcome to Stem and Leaf Tables Lesson 2. Today's lesson we're going to focus on learning how to construct a stem and leaf table, whereas last lesson we were focusing on interpreting the data from a stem and leaf table. Well, first of all, let's recap from last lesson. Here we have the test scores of a certain number of pupils. What I'd like you to do is see if you can answer the three questions on the right hand side. The first question, what is the largest score from the test? Second question, how many pupils scored 45 or less? And the third question, a little bit more difficult, what is the modal score? Now remember, pause the video, write down your answer, and then see if you get it right. So pause the video now. Okay, so the largest score. Well, the largest score is this last number here. But as you can see from the key, it is written like this, which means 77. So the largest score was 77. How many pupils scored 45 or less? Well, this number here is 46. So those that scored 45 or less are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pupils. And last but not least, the modal score. Well, the modal one is quite simple. The modal one is the one that you see the most of. Now, if we have a look very carefully, you can see there are 2 69s, there are 2 46s, 2 49s, but there are 3 32s. So the answer is 32. Fantastic, well done. I hope you got all that right. I'm now going to move on to showing you how to construct a stem and leaf diagram. So let's have a look at our first example. Here we have all our data. You can see all the different numbers there. Now, some people like to go straight to the stem and leaf diagram, but this will cause problems, as you'll see in a minute. But I do things slightly differently. The first thing I do is I write the numbers out in order from smallest to largest, and I cross them off as I go along. So the smallest is 17. The next smallest, there's no 18, 19s, so we're looking in the 20s. The smallest number in the 20s I can see is 24. Then there's another 24. Then there's a 26. And another 26. And that's the end of the 20s, so we're now going to have a look at the 30s. And there is a number 30. No 31s, but there is a 36. A 39. And because my writing's gone so big, I'm going to have to go on to the next row here. But we're doing 45, 48, and last but not least, 56. So now we've written all our data out in order of size from smallest to largest. This makes making the stem and leaf diagram much easier. Now I'm going to do the stem and leaf diagram in a different colour so you can see where we are. But here we go. This is my stem, and to the left hand side we put all the 10s. So we've got 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50. And here I'm going to put all the leaves. So we start with the smallest. Remember that's a 10, so 10 and 7 makes 17. Again, if you want to, you can cross it off once you've done it. And then we've got 24, followed by another 24, followed by 2 26s. So that's them. Then we've got a 30, a 36, a 39. Now, at this point, I suppose I should mention that it's best if you can get the numbers to line up underneath each other. So the 5 goes here, the 8 underneath there, and 56 goes down there. Now, it's not important, but it helps you when you're dealing with the second part of the questions that come up. Now, most of you will probably think that I've finished here. Unfortunately, if that's what you've done, you will lose a mark in the exam. The most important part of the stem and leaf is to draw a key. Now, you can pick any number at all. I'm going to pick the number 45, which is written as a 4/5, but we know that really means 45. If you don't include a key in your answer, you will lose marks in the exam. And there we go. That's a stem and leaf diagram. Nice and simple. But the key important parts are, first of all, to put the numbers in order, because your stem and leaf has to be in order. Okay, if the numbers aren't in order in the stem and leaf, you lose a mark. And the second thing is, you have to have a key. Now, once you've made notes on that, move on to the next page, because we're going to be having some questions. Now, there are 2 questions here. The first question is box standard. All I'm looking for you to do is draw a stem leaf diagram for that data in the green question. But for the extension, I'm wondering if you could draw one stem and leaf diagram that represents the data for the boys and the data for the girls, all on the one diagram. I'm not going to tell you how to do this, but have a go and see how you get on. Remember, bring your homework in to the next lesson and we'll go through it in class.